Ladies and gentlemen of Knucklehead Nation, welcome to episode 40 of the Fighters Rep Podcast. I'm your host, the Fighters Rep Fez, joined by my esteemed colleague and an absolute expert in combat sports and everything sports.
I don't know about that now.
Gary Ignorant Behavior. Unfortunately, his deep well of knowledge does not extend, for whatever reason, into his preferences as far as teams go. As you can see, he's wearing a terrible FSU hat. He also likes another terrible team with the same colors, the San Francisco 49ers. Gary, how are you this evening, young man?
First of all, I will not let you disrespect my team that went undefeated last year in college until we decided we wanted to go to NFL. And I will not let you disrespect my Niners, who was in the Super Bowl and lost in overtime. Your Dolphins have not done that in a long time, and neither have your Canes. So we're gonna start. If you're gonna start it off, we're gonna do that.
But we're still the only team to go undefeated, Gary. The Miami Dolphins. But anyway, Gary, listen. All jokes aside, today I had a conversation with Coach Derek Collinsworth. You know, we got to get him on this show at some point. Big time boxing coach. And, you know, I had a conversation with him. I've been trolling people on Instagram. You know, I just can't understand the hate for Devin Haney. That's what this episode is about today. Why does everybody hate Devin Haney? It looks like the WBC has also stripped the dream, the American dream, Devin Haney, or maybe they've made him champion in recess or something ridiculous like that. Yeah. And are Ryan Garcia fans crazy, Gary? You know, I think we need to discuss this entire situation because I feel like we've hit a social, cultural, impasse. We've hit an impasse here. A civil war is brewing, Gary, and we need to figure this shit out. And then finally, I want to talk about Tank, because me and you didn't really get a chance to touch on Tank versus Frank Martin, man. Let me tell you something. I'm up here on Tank right now. I don't know. I was here, and now I'm like here. Like I'm barely like in the video anymore on Tank. And I'm just liking him more and more all the time. You know what I mean?
I mean, we can start with the Ryan things first.
Yeah.
Because I didn't I was supposed to come on Friday, folks. I dozed off on George. I let him down.
When you hit 40 and the testosterone starts to dip, all kinds of weird things happen.
Yeah. But I really want to get in. But George knows. Hey, we're not doing that. But George knows that I want to talk to him about the whole Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia thing. And I don't. Are they crazy? I mean, I think they're just as crazy as, all sports fans. That's why you call the fan short for fanatics. And it's a difference between when you're a fan of a sport like we're a fan of boxing. We're a fan of combat sports, kickboxing, boxing, even MMA, even though George liked to pick on him about wrestling.
Even though it's boring. Continue.
Or Roman Greco wrestling, like Will Ferrell used to say. But we're fans of the sport. But when you get people who are fans of people, they don't give a fuck about the sport. They just give a fuck about who they're a fan of. They want to be right. They want the guy to win. They want the guy to be successful. Yeah. And the problem that Devin Haney is facing is that he came up with, Tank, Ryan, Tio, and him as the 4 and the 135. So you got people who are fans of Tio that hate him, people that are fans of Tank that hate him, and people that are fans of Ryan that hate him.
Man,
so you get like
storm. It's the perfect storm.
And out of all three fighters, he's the least exciting fighter.
Yeah.
He's a boxer.
Yeah.
Tio can knock you out. Ryan can put your lights out. Tank can put your lights out.
You've done your homework. You've done your homework on this. I'm liking this angle you're attacking from. Continue.
So Devin Haney has a lot of haters, and I want to say he's probably. Would you say he's probably the least popular out of those four?
I would say he's the least liked for sure. I would say
Yeah.
he's
So
the
out of
least
those
liked.
four, because he has his style as a boxer,
Yeah.
and it's and huh?
You know, I want to add to your little formula, your little recipe of Devin Haney hate that that completely passed me by. But now that I think about it, I want to add to it a little bit. Here's the I guess the mustard on top, right? The loss to Lomachenko.
Oh,
The loss to
well,
Lomachenko.
he won,
Or the win. But
but a lot of people thought he lost.
everybody, a lot of people thought Lomachenko won that, and they dislike Haney because of that too.
That too, exactly.
Yeah.
That too. They think Loma beat him, but some people think Loma beat Tio too.
Yeah.
But and it's his style of fighting isn't fan friendly. Like
Right.
me, I like the sweet science, so I like it. I like him and Shakur. But
Yeah.
but people will say pillow hands for him and Shakur. All they do is run and things of this nature. And like I said, you got the other fighters who are knocking people out, and then you
Yeah.
add in Bill Haney, who
Annoying.
people find him annoying.
He's annoying for sure. I mean, I think he's kind of funny, but he could be annoying for sure.
I get what Bill Haney's doing, so it
Yeah.
doesn't bother me. But people feel like he's a loudmouth, he's annoying, and
Yeah.
he talks. Honestly, Devin talks, but Devin don't talk as much as his dad.
No, he doesn't. No.
You know, so it's like it's a whole thing of people just I mean, and so so that's what I think Devin Haney problem is. You came up with four. It was you four supposed to be going at each other, and he has his fan base. He has a lot of fans. I'm a fan. You know,
Yeah.
I'm
Me
more of a
too.
fan of
Me too.
I'm more of a fan of him than I am of Ryan and Tio. I know you like Tio more at one point. I don't know if that's still the case. At one point, I
Yeah.
don't know if that's still the case. I know you kind of felt like he did some kooky things too. You know what I mean?
You know I'm not into the kooky, bro. You know
Yeah.
I'm not into the kooky.
But you got. I mean, as far as and as far as see we got right now, it's saying Ryan Garcia over Haney. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
it's just a more appealing style of fighting to a
Yeah.
lot of people. And when you have that style of fighting, your O becomes really, really, really important when you have that style of fighting.
I don't know. Derek called me an oak today. He said, "Man, you're an oak." I'm just a hard-headed dude. I just can't figure it out, Gary. I need you to help me out, Gary. It's just maybe it's a cultural block. Something's happening here, Gary, that I just can't understand, right? I'm going to walk you through it as briefly as I can, okay?
Yeah.
Exhibit A, Ryan Garcia. Exhibit B, Devin Haney, right?
Uh-huh.
This guy comes in 3.2 pounds overweight. This guy is talking shit nonstop. This guy goes in there and puts a pretty bad beating on this guy, even though the fight still ends up split decision, close to a draw, really, in my opinion. Then he proceeds, does Ryan Garcia, to continue to talk shit and drag this guy on social media. Then we find out that he had PEDs in his system. He continues to come up with bullshit conspiracy theories and excuses and all kinds of stuff. Then the tests come back positive and are confirmed positive with the B samples. This guy here, Devin Haney, does a dance at a bowling alley, and the whole world hates him. Gary, I just can't understand, right? Am I the only one who believes in truth and justice and honor anymore? I mean, you could have killed him in the ring if you were on PEDs, whether it's intentional or not. To me, it looks intentional because of the PED that you used and the time span that you used it, and the fact that it gives you benefits within a week, and the fact that it is used for helping you cut weight and maintaining muscle. And
now they say there's like 3 tests that he failed. Nah,
And
that was like
now
3.
they're saying, yeah, now they're saying, and you further showed your lack of remorse for your opponent and all the things you said leading up to and after. And sure, Bill Haney runs his mouth, but listen, that's a man whose son just got, cheated.
Yeah.
His son got cheated, and the rightful decision came about, in my opinion, right? If anything, it could have been more harsh. It should have been more harsh, and we'll talk about that in a second. But I'm still trying to wrap my head around how this entire public and social media, and Gary, it is not even close. Gary, it is not even close. You tried telling me yesterday, he's got fans. Haney's got fans. No, it's not even close. If you look at Ryan Garcia's social media, if you look at boxing's social media, if you look at Devin Haney's social media, it is 9-1, 8-1, 9-1 in favor of the guy who was with PEDs in his system. And I'm trying to understand, it can't just be the dance at the bowling alley. It can't just, Gary, it can't just be the dance at the bowling alley.
Well, here we go again.
And here's another thing. They're completely glossing over and ignoring the fact that, yes, he beat him up, but he was also on PEDs, 3.2 pounds overweight. And if you have anything to do with the fight game, right, in my opinion, especially when it came to the result being a split decision, you should believe, or you should at least have an inkling of doubt in your mind that had he showed up on weight and without PEDs, he may not have won that fight. The floor is yours.
Well, see, here's my thing is, and me and you got into it on the phone and everything. Me and you got into it on the phone. Well, obviously,
help me out, Gary. Gary, you're more. Let me tell you, Gary. You're more into the. You're like the kids more than me, man. You're more like the kids than I am. I think.
No, I'm trying to help you.
I'm trying to help you.
I'm trying to help you out here, okay?
I'm lost at sea. I'm lost at sea right now. Throw me a lifeline.
Okay, sit back. Okay, so here's the thing is, Ryan Garcia obviously had more fans before the fight than Devin Haney. He built up a strong social media following, and they love the guy. They follow him through whatever. That's why they made excuses after he lost the Tank. Oh, he's weight drained and all this. He has a large following. One of the larger ones. I think it's more than T.O. I think it's more than Devin Haney. The only person I think that has more is Tank. So you're gonna see more people on his side. They're his fans. I just explained to you, in this world, if you like LeBron, you're gonna hate on Jordan. If you like Jordan, they're hating on LeBron. If you like Kobe, they're going to be his fans. And so that's one thing that it doesn't matter. And you have a lot of people who have conspiracy theories saying, hey, they and all he has to do is put out these conspiracy theories and say, hey, man, I didn't test positive. I didn't take anything. They're setting me up. They're against me.
And remember, you can say what you want about me, but you can't say I'm inconsistent, because when Deontay Wilder threw out those same bullshit conspiracy theories, I turned on him too. I didn't like him no more. And that's why I don't like Ryan Garcia neither.
And guess what? It's a lot of Devontae Wilder fans that agree with him. They're his fans. They love conspiracy theories. They believe what their fighter tells them. Now, I will say it is also a turnoff to see Devin Haney. This is just me now. Dancing the bowling alley.
I'm trying to understand. Just give it to me.
Dancing, it's a turnoff. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad that they ruled in his. They suspended Ryan because obviously he had in the system or whatever. They suspended him and they did whatever they had. I think it's a light tap on the wrist, but for Devin Haney to go as far as dancing, or he put up a video. He put up a video of him writing back 31-0 on his bio. Like, I mean, nobody really cares about that, to be honest. And I'm a Devin Haney fan. Don't really care that you put that up there. I did see you get knocked. And I understand it was steroids. But as a man, and I even heard other boxers say this, is like, And Greg Hackett, I watch him sometimes on I forgot what channel it is, but sometimes he says, I mean, suing and things like that. I mean, I'm not gonna knock him for doing it, but me, I want to cause you pain after you
Yeah.
just beat me up in front of millions of people. I don't care if you cheated or not. You just embarrassed me in front of a million people. I want you to go to the mirror like I had to go to the mirror and feel everything. So while I'm glad, if I was in Devin Haney's shoes, I'm glad I got it. Like, hey, they did the right thing, even though I probably would have wanted more, 2 years at least. I probably would have wanted 2 years at least. But at the end of the day, I would have put out a message like, I'm glad they got it right. I'm glad they did the right thing, blah, blah, blah. But I'm not dancing. I'm not going on this celebration tour. I'm not doing that, George. I'm just not.
But
as a man, I got to put hands on you again. We got to go at it. I got to put hands on you.
But isn't that part of the sweet revenge to rub your cheating bullshit back in your face by doing a little dance? I mean, isn't that part of it?
But what are you haven't even won outside of the ring, because at the end of the day, Ryan Garcia,
he did win.
No. I'm saying let's this is what we talked about on the phone. Ryan Garcia still got paid a bunch of money for that fight. He's only had to give $1 million back, and they're saying he made a ton of money off of that fight.
A million's a million though, big dog.
If you get another, if you're getting another 20 mil, I mean, I'll give up the mil. He gave Devin. Think about what he did. He gave Devin Haney 1.5 just to miss weight. I'll give you 1.5. So obviously, $1 million. He's making a lot more than $1 million.
Plus $1.5 million. That's 2.5 loss to goofiness.
Okay, he still got a lot of money. He bet on himself. So he with the bets. I haven't heard anything they got to return the money from the bets. So he bet on himself, got like what he said, 12 million or something. Then he got the pay-per-view numbers, which Devin Haney even acknowledged, like that's where fighters really bank on their money, not the guaranteed purse. So he got that. He still got all his fans, and he's still a big star. And I mean, people are clowning you, not me. Right. You just your next fight. You just what they did 2.5.
But
Bob M did. He's winning.
But Gary, isn't the dance at the bowling alley, which in my opinion was hilarious, isn't that part of the revenge trolling? I mean, why can't that just be? How come Ryan can troll and do all the weird shit that he did, and Devin Haney does 1/10 of what he did, and the whole world turns on him?
George, it wasn't just the dance. He went on I follow Twitter. He went on a whole Twitter celebration.
What did he say?
This, and that's, well, like I said, he showed a screenshot of his phone, not a screen recording on his phone of him changing his bio back to 31-0.
Great troll. That's great trolling, though.
Not if I'm Ryan, I'm just gonna come like this. If I'm Ryan, I'm like, dude, you can say whatever you want. Most people are on my side that you see, because like you said, I'm still a big star. I still got paid bank, and people still think I can kick your ass. And I beat you up. I won the fight, even though I cheated, but I won. I beat the shit out of you. And I'm going to keep trolling you, because when Devin Haney said, I'm going to take off 2 years to Ryan get up a suspension and then fight him, he's like, damn, champ, you need 2 years to get your ass kicked again? Like, he's just going to keep trolling you. If I'm Devin, I'm just going to go, I'm going to thank the association for doing what, like, he just got stripped of his belt again, too. That's what we're talking about today. He got stripped of his belt. What did he win? He won nothing. He's getting paid less for his next fight that he don't want to fight. So they're stripping him. He's losing in every kind of way. George, so if I'm Ryan, I'm sitting back laughing. I'm winning.
Yeah. You're winning financially, though. You just lost, like I told you just lost the biggest win of your career. It got overturned into a no contest. You know what I mean?
George, but public opinion is I kicked your ass.
Well, but I don't think that's correct public opinion. I think that's
not, but does it matter?
I think
it doesn't matter.
Well, to the hardcore fans like myself, it does matter. And I'm still trying to wrap my head. You haven't explained to me, and it doesn't seem anybody can explain to me. And Isaac McCary's in here. I'm going to read what he's saying. Nobody has been able to explain to me how what Devin Haney is doing is worse or even at the level of what Ryan Garcia did by dancing at the bowling alley and by putting 31-0. For me, that's great trolling. You're just
Well, he was also on Twitter talking trash.
Wait a minute. You're just rubbing salt on the wound, just like Ryan Garcia's been doing. I mean, it's tit for tat.
I didn't say it's worse than what Ryan did. I'm just saying, far as me, as a man, I'm not going to celebrate some decision that some people did in some sport. I'm not celebrating that. I need to see you again. Me and you need to see each other again.
But he also said rematch, biggest fight in boxing. Let's
yeah, he did. At first he said no rematch. Now he's saying rematch. But at the end of the day,
I'm going to give you my thoughts on that. But before we continue, let's read a couple of Isaac McCarry's comments. Actually, tell me what you were going to say, and then we'll read Isaac's comment.
Okay, I was just sitting here saying like people are looking at it just, as a guy, me, man, somebody kick my ass, I want to go kick your ass back.
Yeah.
And so to celebrate decisions in court and everything, and this, combat sports is a manly sport. Like when Cotto got cheated by Margarito, he's rapping his hands. He could have very well killed Cotto too. Cotto waited. Cotto wanted that smoke again. Waited to get his vengeance back. I'm pretty sure he was upset about it, but and I mean, I know it's a different time. Cotto's not on Twitter doing these things. Yeah. If he did, maybe he does something, but he's not trying to sue. He didn't try to do anything. He wants to go back and kick his ass and get his W back.
Yeah.
And so that's how people look at it.
I'm still confused. Isaac McCarry says, this is the thing. Devin Haney gives off bitch-made vibes. Let me see here. Dude is a crybaby instead of just saying, yeah, he beat me off the off stream, but I want that rematch next. Well, he did say that. I mean, on Twitter, he did say, let's run it back, biggest fight in boxing. And then he went on to what I think is just tit-for-tat trolling. But instead, he just goes, I'll never fight Ryan again, going to DAZN and YouTube to ask him to remove the Garcia fight from existence. LOL, dude is a bitch. I think it's great. I think it's just I think it's revenge trolling. That's all I see there. Bro, if you got your fucking ass whooped, you should want that back straight up. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Again, he did say he wants to run it back. We don't fuck with Haney because he's a crybaby bitch. Can't take the L like a man. 1/1000th of a gram in his system wouldn't give no real advantage. I'm more upset at the 3.5 pounds missed weight. I know about that. De La Paz missed weight by 5 pounds when he fought. And I know that plays a factor. And I always think about you, Isaac, when I think about that situation. And it's actually 3.2 pounds. And this is what I want to say. You say 1/1000th of a gram in his system wouldn't give no real advantage. Well, I would disagree with that. This Osterine, this chemical, the limit, whatever it is, he was 60 times that limit. He was 60 times that limit. So, that just lets you know how much he had in his system relative to how much is allowed. And I can't really say how much it helped or it didn't because I'm not a chemical engineer or anything like that or a scientist. But 60 times sounds like a lot. I would dump the house on Ryan if they fought again. That, for me, I would disagree because I think if he comes in on weight, on the same weight as Haney, I think he gets his ass beat by Haney if they come in the same weight. But again, that's a matter of opinion. It's correct public opinion. George Haney got his ass beat. But again, by a guy 3.2 pounds heavier, Isaac, you've been in that same situation at weigh-in where the guy weighed in significantly more than you, and you know that makes a difference in a fight. Dude really saying he's going to sue Ryan, definition of soft. Exactly, respect to Cotto for being a real man. And I respect Cotto for being a real man. But look, Isaac, this is, and Isaac is a real fighter. Isaac is a real fighting man, Gary. Free smoke, Isaac McCarry. So, I understand where he's coming from. I understand. Listen, I'm the same. I do want him to go in there and fight him again. And I do think, I stand on this, I do think Haney wins. But when he says he's soft for wanting to sue him, well, Gary, you just brought it up yourself. And you tell me what you think, Gary.
Yeah.
You just made, what, 10, 20 million fighting Ryan Garcia?
Yeah.
You just had a purse bid for a subsequent fight against Sandor Martin. And only one promoter bid in the purse bid. And I think it was like for 1.5 or 1.6
I
million
think it was
dollars.
2. At first I thought it was 1.5, but I think it was like 2 mils something.
Well, I think I heard 1.5, 1.6.
It might be.
Whatever it is,
Yeah, it's way lower.
that's such a significant decrease in the amount of money you're being paid. And I do believe it's because, and you could see it in the boxing public and in the forums and everything everybody's saying, it's done so much damage to his brand losing to this guy who was on PEDs and came in overweight. It's done so much damage to his brand, Gary, and it may have done damage to his health permanently. Gary, let me know what you think. But
here's the thing is, here's the thing is,
I don't think suing him here is out of the realm of possibility. I don't
listen. My issue is the excessive celebration. But as far as suing, that's a personal decision. If that's what you want to do, if you feel like he cost you money and things of that nature, it don't really bother me that much. I don't necessarily think that was evidence that his brand is taking such a big hit, because of the fact of the matter is that it's who he's fighting. If he were to fight Ryan again, he would sell. If he were to fight Shakur Stevenson, or he was to fight Tio, or if he was to fight a good name, that would, because he's not a big, like Tank and Ryan Garcia them been saying for even before this fight. They're saying he doesn't sell by himself. He needs a Tank can sell. It don't matter who Tank fights. He's gonna sell. He's gonna sell.
Here's the thing, Gary.
And so with Haney, because his style is such not a fan-friendly style, that even his fight against Regis, some people thought that fight was boring. You know what I mean? And you know, so, and I heard another fighter saying this: when you have a boring style, you know, you have to keep winning, because the moment you lose, obviously what you're saying, it kind of hurts you, because your style is based on I'm boring but I win.
So like but by saying that,
that's why I'll give you your point.
By saying that, you're saying that you believe there was damage done.
I don't believe as much damage as that bid for 1.5 is showing. I think the bid for 1.5 is just because of who he's fighting. If you gave it, because I think they said they wanted to make a fight between Haney and I think what's his name from Matchroom?
Eddie Hearn.
He wanted to make a fight with Haney and somebody else, and he said, "I'll do that. I'm not doing that fight. That fight ain't gonna make no money." You know what I mean?
By the way, big shout out to Christian the Black Irishman O'Brien. We'll get to your comment in a second. Big man. We'll get to it in a second. We appreciate you being here. Go ahead, Gary.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and I get what you're saying with the trolling and all that, but trolling is not going to change what people saw. Okay, and I understand where you're coming from. It's steroids. People saw it, especially a casual fans don't give a fuck about that. We saw it. Just like you go to baseball and they were jacked up on roids. They think that was when baseball was at its best. You think Patriots fans can't care that, oh, Spygate, oh, they cheat? Or I'll give you one even better. In college football, when they vacate championships, saying you didn't win it anymore because you cheated, you were paying people. You were cheating. People are still saying, that's still a champion. I still feel like even though they were cheating.
Gary, I understand that, but I think at the end of the day, we should all agree, right, that the integrity of the sport matters more than doing anything you need to do for entertainment, right? I mean, if you're just going to throw the rules away for entertainment and
fans do that all the time.
You know, you can't do it all the time. There has to be integrity in the sport. And part of that integrity and maintaining it is making sure that everybody's fighting on an even playing field. And if you're at 60 times the allowable limit of Ostarine, right, on weigh-in day or the day of the fight, I got a problem with that. And if you're 3.2 pounds over, I mean, listen, we got fighters in the chat right now. Christian, let me ask you, and Isaac, let me ask you. Let's say you were fighting at Fighters Rep. You know, you're fighting at, let's just say, 140 pounds, and both of you struggle to get to 140, but you get to 140. And let's say both you struggled to get there, but you made it. It was a tough cut, as most of them are, and you made it. and your opponent said, fuck it, just showed up 143.2. Do you or do you not think, just based on that, take the steroids out of it, do you or do you not think that that's going to affect potentially the outcome of the fight? I want to hear from these fighters. And while they think of that answer, Gary, Christian O'Brien says, I think Haney just isn't handling the loss well, just needs to keep his head down and get back in as soon as he can. But the Instagram antics aren't helping him. That being said, Ryan been acting an ass, cannot take him seriously with all the shit he does online. He claims he didn't do any PEDs, but his behavior outside the ring and the test results say otherwise, plus the weights. I agree. And Isaac says he can't sell pay-per-views. Nobody wants to watch Haney fight because he has a boring-ass style. So he's agreeing with you here, Gary, and I agree with that. And everyone was already not rocking with him when they robbed Loma in their match. Well, here's what I'll say. This is going to be an unpopular opinion, and Gary, you tell me what you think.
Okay.
I thought the fight with Loma was too close to be called a robbery.
I agree.
And don't leave the fucking thing to the judges. And a lot of people that dislike Haney or dislike his style will disagree with me vehemently. But I'm not here to be a fanboy, Gary. I'm like you. I mean, you're probably more biased than I am, but I'm like you.
What?
I'm a fan of the sport. I'm a fan of combat sports, right? And I want to see the correct result. I want to see the result, the fair, the just result. That's what I want to see. Go ahead, Gary. Tell me what you think.
Well, see, this is where obviously you're saying you want to keep you want to keep some integrity in the sport. That's not fans' job. A fan job is not that. Fan job is just to watch and get entertained.
Okay.
Integrity of the sport is up to the sport. The people who the sanctioning bodies, all that. That's their job. Fans' job is not. Fans just want to see knockouts. They want to see fights, and they're gonna have their opinions. Especially casual fans. They don't care about what you're saying. I have a lot of friends that don't really. They're casual boxing fans. They don't follow it as much as me or you or some of the other people. They don't know all the names. They know the big names. And when they talk about the Ryan Garcia, they're like, I don't care about the steroids. He got his ass kicked. And I mean, the steroids might have helped a little bit, but they ain't do that much. Because they're just casual. Wait, let me finish. Let me finish. They're casual fans. It's no different than casual fans in any sport. Like right now, you have in the WNBA or whatever. I don't watch the WNBA, but you got, I'm ain't nothing to the women. I haven't watched it, but you know what I mean. But you got this whole Caitlin Clark phenomenon that's going crazy. People want her to be on the Olympic team, and some people say she hasn't earned it. People are saying, "Oh, you need to put her here. You need to put her here." And the casual fans and the players are saying, and the diehards are going, "What are you talking about? You people don't know what you're saying." And this, that. But when you want a sport to grow popularity, people go with the popular person. People are casuals. They go with what they want to go with. They don't care about she didn't earn her stripes, have right merits, or anything like that. They're like, she shoots a 3-ball from half court. I want to see that. Yeah. That's all they care about. They don't really care about the actual game. Now, diehards do. But if you solely relied on diehards for any sport, you won't make a lot of money. The people who make you a lot of money is the casuals.
No, for sure.
It's the casual people. That's why Ryan. That's why Ryan tapped into Instagram.
I would hope even the casuals, right? I would hope even the casuals would want to be in a position where the person they're rooting for is at least competing on an even playing field. I mean, that's not even a fan thing. That's just like a regular human thing, right? Like, don't you want to win on the same playing field as the next person? Don't you want your person to win knowing that they're on an even playing field? And I think that's where I'm starting to think these Ryan Garcia fans are a little bit crazy. And look, I believe that I believe Ryan Garcia is nuts, right? And I think he's showing very, very narcissistic behavior, like just very selfish, and will do whatever it takes to get over on the next person. And that's why I believe he's not playing fair, because of the way he acts and the things he's saying and the things he's doing, and the fact that he had PEDs in his system and all this. And I think that selfish, narcissistic attitude does resonate, especially in this generation, in this day and age, and in this culture, Gary, with a lot of people on social media sitting there behind this imaginary wall that can just say and do whatever they want with no consequence. And I think he's kind of built this army of selfish weirdos, and they're just going to ride or die with him, man. I mean, it's almost like a cult. I mean, it's cult-like at this point, Gary.
Well, here's the thing is, he's not, this is the point I'm trying to get to you. This is nothing special. You sing it with Ryan Garcia, but this is nothing special. When fans cling on to a guy and they love a guy, they make excuses. They believe their excuses. Like I said, with Deontay Wilder, I remember after the first Fury fight, when after the first Fury fight, when Fury, in my opinion, beat him, but they called it a draw.
Yeah.
They made all these things. Oh, well, the count was too long. They let Fury get back up so it could be a draw. How's it a draw? He knocked him down twice and things it isn't, and all this. And they're going on. I'm like, dude got beat up for 10 out of 12 rounds. He knocked Tyson Fury down, so he won 2 rounds. Yeah. And he got a 10-8. But if you really think, so when they went to fight again, they're like, oh, he's going to do it this time. I'm like, you really think after watching that last fight that he's going to beat him again? A guy coming out of retirement from cocaine, 400 pounds, came in and whooped your ass for 10 rounds, and you got 2 lucky hits the whole goddamn fight, and you really, and then the next fight, when he actually destroys Deontay Wilder, now it's, oh, he took padding out of his glove. The magic water. The magic trainer put something in the water. We did a video on that, George. We made fun of it. His fans still, I literally had people still telling me Tyson Fury cheated. They made videos on it. And it was because they're fans, they're fanatics. And then even after that, when they fought the third time, it's still like they still had a hard time believing that he could beat Deontay Wilder. Even though through the 3 fights, he whooped Deontay all 3 fights. And it's like that. So, but my thing is that, and then you go into, you have all types of other fighters or others in other sports that the fans just love them and they can do no wrong. And they will, even if you try to call them out on the BS. I see it all the time with these guys who commentators on ESPN or Fox or whatever, and they make a statement about somebody. The fans, especially the fans of the team, they come out like raging, but it's like the guy said, Antonio Brown, I'll give you a perfect example. Antonio Brown. Was he not acting like Ryan Garcia? Crazy nuts. And people make excuses time and time. The guy lost, I don't know how many millions by the Raiders cutting him because he was acting crazy. Do you know people still defended him? And then what happened? He gets with Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback ever, and they kick him off that team.
It's just you're pointing it out to me, and you're right. But it's just wild to me how die-hard loyal people become when they like somebody. It's just weird. It's just weird. Gary, I'm really excited to read these comments to you about the question about the weight cut, right? Because, and I'm excited to read it to all the people watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe and join the channel. That's how you help us grow, is by joining the channel and donating to the promotion through joining the channel. That's how we make money to continue to put on fights. By the way, Fighters Rep 25 and 26 tickets go on sale July 3rd. So get your tickets at fightersrep.com. I really want to read these to you guys because, to Gary's point and to my point as well, we want to kind of educate the fans as well, right? Because a lot of this comes from ignorance, right? A lot of this comes from ignorance where people don't think weight and steroids and this kind of stuff can affect the fight. And, they should know. So Christian O'Brien says, heavy agree. First off, heavy agree on the Loma fight. That was a 50-50 match for sure. So I agree with that. And so do you, Gary. And to answer your question, yes, the weight thing absolutely matters. And it's funny how he missed weight for Haney, but not Gervonta. I would argue, Christian, and I really appreciate you as a fighter giving us that perspective, and then Isaac gives it to us next. I agree with this, obviously 100%. That's why I asked the question. But I would argue that he missed for Haney and not for Gervonta because I think he was a bit more put together when he fought Tank. And I feel like he continues to spiral and kind of lose his ability to think logically as time goes on. And maybe that's why he decided for Haney, to hell with it. I'm just going to show up overweight. I don't care. But I also heard him say in a post-fight that he can't make 140. At least that's what he said. I don't know. And then
Well,
Gary,
let me
go ahead.
let me
Interject.
Yeah, I personally think that he fought the Tank fight, lost it, and Tank had the rehydration clause, all that stuff right there. So he lost it, and I just think that after that, because he moved up to 140 right after that.
Yeah.
So I feel like he said, "Fuck that! I'm not trying to do that 135 shit anymore. I'm not trying to do this weight games." So he moved up to 140. Realized 140 is kind of hard too. So then he wants to fight. He wants the money, and I feel like he just said, "Hey man." I think he probably does believe him being at 135 affected him fighting Tank. I don't, but maybe he does.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Gary, look, here we are with Isaac Free Smoke McCary, another decorated fighter, as is Christian O'Brien. These are two guys who have fought for Fighters Rep and are veteran. They're amateurs, but they're still veteran fighters at this point. They've had multiple fights between the two of them. Isaac says, I think it does for sure, referring to coming in overweight. Not only can it play a factor into the fight, but it also shows how unprofessional they are. And that's another thing I agree with. I think sometimes guys will miss weight, especially in the amateurs, because, they're still learning to cut weight, Gary. They haven't really mastered the art of it. Even in the pros, like you remember what Errol Spence said, right? It was his first time really having a nutritionist, kind of was against Bud Crawford. So a lot of these guys, they're just kind of doing this on a whim and doing it the way they know how to do it. But I do think, making weight is a professionalism related thing. Even Christian O'Brien says even did the rehydration clause because he knew Gervonta's camp wouldn't agree to that fight if he didn't make it. But with Haney, they were equally popular. So he knew Haney wasn't in a position to back out.
I wouldn't say they're equally popular. I think Ryan thought still at that time, like, I'm the one, because he had the big fight with Tank that put up big numbers. I think that was the biggest fight that year. Yeah. So Devin Haney didn't have that. Now, some people saying that's because it was Tank. Some people saying that's because it was Ryan and Tank. But whatever. But I think he believed he was bigger star than Devin Haney. Yeah. And like I said, I believe he kind of is like, man, the weight is the reason why he lost the Tank fight, and now he coming back and saying I ain't worried about that. Yeah. And he said Floyd told him don't try to make it. But my thing is with the weight thing, and you know how I am with this. Devin Haney had a choice not to fight the fight. He chose to take the 1.5.
I hear you.
He chose to take the. I don't care what it is. You chose to take that fight because you believe that even with the weight,
you ruthless bastard.
Hold on, wait.
Bastard.
I'm ruthless. You got 1.5 million. You got 1.5 million. You said you're gonna fight for that 1.5 million. Okay. At any point in time, you could have even said, you could have made him go try to run it off. You could have did anything. He took the 1.5 million. I don't want to hear the crybaby shit. Just like when people say, "Oh, Tank weight drain Ryan." Did you sign the contract? You signed the contract. You agreed to it. Nobody made you do it. I don't want to hear the excuses afterwards. That's what you agreed to. Yeah. You looked at the money. You thought I could still beat him even though this. I have a cousin that was a professional boxer. He took a fight. The guy showed up, was overweight. Wait. The guy was overweight. He took the fight. He fought him. He beat him. Okay. He still beat him, but, it is what it is.
So he signed the rehydration clause with Tank, right? And you're trying to equate that with Ryan Garcia missing weight.
No, what I'm trying to equate it to is if you accept the terms.
Okay.
If you accept the terms, if Ryan Garcia misses weight, you have a choice. And other people said they had a choice to say, go run off the rest of it.
But is it the same?
If you agree to it, yes.
Do you not think that Ryan Garcia had the opportunity to sit down with his team and review the rehydration clause? Did he or did he not?
Yeah.
How much time did Devin Haney have to make that decision on the day of weigh-in when this guy was 3.2 pounds over, whether he was going to sacrifice the biggest payday of his life or not?
A lot of time. You know why? Because they made a bet. Because Devin Haney said before they even got there, he's not going to make weight. Devin Haney already knew that in the back of his head.
But that's
and they
speculation.
Bet. And
but Gary, that's speculation.
No. But you were prepared for it. If I make a bet with you,
Gary,
hold on, wait.
If I prepared for it, Gary.
George, he literally told him, Ryan's not taking it seriously. Ryan's not going to make weight. I'm telling you guys, he's not going to make weight. And Ryan said, I bet you I do. They said, okay, let's make a bet. So they bet it. And that's why he got the 1.5. We're going to bet. So you had to say in the back of your mind, it may be a chance this motherfucker shows up overweight. Because it looks like he's overweight.
So it may be a chance is the same as I 100% can only rehydrate to this level.
Hold on, wait.
It's speculation. Wait a minute.
Okay.
It's speculation at best, a guess versus a written contract. One is happening on the spot. You got to make a decision. And one you've had months to think about in the contract.
A decision that
not the same.
No. Hey, listen. It was a decision. Right? That anytime you're preparing for something, you look at all the things that possibly
I agree with you there.
Go wrong.
I agree.
Wait. It's a reason why when Tim Tszyu was going to fight Keith Thurman, that they put I can't think of his name right now. Fundora on the undercard to prepare just in case, because you prepare for these things. You think about these things beforehand. What happens if Keith Thurman don't make it? Oh, we got Fundora in the wings waiting. That's proper preparation. You think about these things. So as a fighter, what do I do? Me and my dad have a conversation. If he doesn't show up if he shows up on fight night overweight, do we still take the fight? You don't think that conversation was had at all before this?
But Gary, we're talking about a guy who agreed to something in a contract and knew it was coming, right? And had several months to think about it and prepare for it, right? Versus a guy who speculated that something could or might not happen, and then was faced with making the decision on the spot and had almost no time to sit there and assess the risk versus reward in that situation. I'm just trying to show you that it's not the same thing. Moreover,
I'm just telling you, as a human.
Hold on. Moreover, you've agreed to a contractual weight.
And that's why you could have said no. I'm not fighting.
You showed up and breached. Well, yeah, you could have said no. And look, he took the risk. Gary, he took the risk and he thought he could
still win.
And maybe he could have beaten him, but not only was he forced to overcome a weight obstacle, but there was a PED obstacle that he also didn't know about, Gary. It was two obstacles in a sport, right, at the highest level, and you know this, where a millisecond, an inch, a centimeter, it makes a difference, Gary.
And my thing to you, George, is I'm not mentioning the PEDs because I agree with you. He had no knowledge of PEDs. But I'll go back to this. And a lot of fighters said that. A lot of fighters, professional boxers said at the time Ryan Garcia missed weight, they didn't have to accept it right then and there. They could have said, go run it off. Now, yeah. Ryan might have sat and did nothing for a few hours. And did nothing and came back and weighed the same. But that gives you time to think things over if he comes back overweight. He didn't. Devin Haney did not hesitate.
You're not going to say no.
You're not going to
say no.
Hold on, no.
You're not going to say no to $10 million.
George, I'm not saying
going to say no to $10 million.
George, I'm not saying you're going to say no to $10 million. What I'm saying is you still could have forced him. You didn't have to say yes right away. You could have said, no, go run that shit off. And do like I did, go run it off. They didn't even do that. That doesn't mean you're declining the fight. They said you can make a fighter go and run it off And if they come back, then you can decide. They didn't even do that because they were so confident in Devin Haney's ability that they thought they were cocky, they were arrogant. They said, hey, we can beat him even like that. And that's on you because you thought that.
Gary, is that cocky and arrogant or is that confident, Gary?
I mean, it's confident, yeah. But I'm just saying, now once you get the result, you want to bring up the weight.
But by you saying cocky and arrogant, you're putting it on Devin as if this happened to him because he's arrogant. Look, listen.
Well, what I'm saying is you didn't even try to. You were so confident in your ability to beat this guy. You felt so good about beating this guy that you didn't even try to make him go lose the weight. And that's what I'm saying.
And it's a lesson learned as far as the weight.
Yeah.
But what is he supposed to do about the steroids?
I didn't mention the steroids. We're talking about weight, not steroids. Okay. So with the steroids, I got 1,000 degree with the steroids. We got to talk
about both, but we got to talk
about. But I'm
both.
saying he didn't. The reason why I'm not talking about both because he didn't agree to the steroids. Right. He agreed to the weight. I didn't agree to steroids. Now I'm pretty damn sure if they said, "Hey, Ryan Garcia pop dirty and he's 3," he's like, "Oh no, I don't care if you offer me 10 mil. I'm not fighting that dude dirty and he's overweight." I'm pretty sure he would have said that. He didn't agree to that. So I'm not blaming Devin Haney at all for that. What I'm saying is, and just like I'm saying with Ryan Garcia when he fought Tank, you thought I could still beat him. I can lose that weight and I can still beat him. After the fact, it's what Terry Crews said. Don't shake your head, yes, and then later be and then later be mad. You said yes. You don't have to say yes. You can't shake. You can't say yes and really mean no, and then complain about it later.
But the saying yes, right? Maybe that addresses the weight issue. It doesn't address the PED issue.
I said that. I said that it doesn't.
And so, before I read these other comments, let me ask you, right? So I'm still, in my opinion, it's not even close. It's 8-1, 9-1 people in favor of Ryan Garcia over Haney in this situation. Now, let me ask you, Gary, what side are you on? If I were to ask you that, who do you think has shown better conduct in this situation? I'm not saying Devin Haney is without fault. Yeah, he danced. For sure, he danced at the bowling alley. Fine, and his dad's annoying. But who do we see as more culpable in this?
Ryan. I don't never deny who's more culpable. It's Ryan. I just said I think Ryan. I think he did it on purpose. I don't know that for a fact, but I think he cheated on purpose. I don't think it was an accident. I think he's lying, doing all these things, and I believe that people who are sheep of him are following him and just saying, "Yeah, man, it didn't matter." And so he's definitely more culpable for everything. But I'm just saying, it's also you can also go and look at something that says, even though Ryan I think he cheated on purpose. I think all this. I think he's doing. I don't never think he'll reach the potential that he possibly could because of his antics. I still feel like I can critique and say I still feel like Devin should just get off of Twitter. Stop trying to win people over because you're not. It's not doing you any in the public. It's not only thing that's gonna win people over. You get back in that ring and start whooping motherfuckers' asses and whoop his ass like Christian said before. It's not helping you. People are set in their opinion. It's not helping you. It's making you seem a way. Only thing people are going to respect is you get back in the ring, whoop somebody's ass, and when you fight, and when you fight, if you fight him again, you whoop his ass. And that's like I told you before. Like Carl Lewis lost in track. He got cheated. I think it was Dunham and Bailey or somebody. Right. Yeah. Dudes on steroids beat Carl Lewis, who was supposed to be the greatest thing. Carl Lewis wanted to go back and beat his record, even though it was on juiced up. Carl Lewis still felt like, no, I want to go beat his record on him that he did on juice. It's just I don't know, like the athlete in me has to go back, especially the man in me. The athlete, the man in me has to go back. I don't want, and that's why he even said, I don't want the disqualification because I don't want the win like that. Yeah, and that's all I'm saying. I don't want the win like that. I don't want because you think in people at the end of the day, if Devin Haney never loses another fight, do you think it's people will look at his undefeated record like they do Floyd Mayweather's the same
No,
way? Exactly.
no,
So
they won't. They won't.
exactly. Now, if he goes back and kick his ass, they will. They'll
Yeah.
say, "See what happens when he's not on the juice."
Yeah,
I
yeah.
kicked
No,
his
I
ass.
agree. I agree, and I hope it happens. But at the same time, so from a business perspective, right?
Yeah.
Do I want to do business again with a guy that did that to me? That's another question, Gary.
You know
And
what he said. You know what
I've
he said. He said,
spoken
"From now on, Olympic style testing."
Yeah, and well, I spoke to you about this yesterday. I told you as a promoter, I don't even like to deal with people that give me a hard time, right? People that, maybe they lost their tickets or maybe they don't do their physical to the very last second or whatever. I don't like to deal with knuckleheads. You know what I mean? Does he want to do business and be surprised once again at weigh-in? Maybe this guy's 5 pounds over this time.
And then he doesn't accept it.
But you
Or
see
he
what I'm
puts,
saying?
yeah. And this is the thing, like I heard somebody say, the next if they fight again, it's not going to be at 140. Ryan's already said I can't make 140.
And then listen, he could have killed you.
Yeah, I get
Killed you.
Yeah.
Do you want to reward that guy with another big payday? That's another thing to think about.
But are you rewarding him or are you rewarding yourself too? Because I don't think it's a fight. Besides Tank, I don't know if there's a bigger fight for him right now than fighting Ryan Garcia again and making that money. And then the thing is the next time you go in with him, guess what Ryan's going to have to do? He's going to have to go to Olympic style testing. If we're going to make this fight, or if you say you're clean, just like Floyd Mayweather did with Pacquiao, even though Pacquiao would never tested positive or anything. But Floyd was like, no, we fighting from now on Olympic style testing for everybody. Nobody's going to come in here juiced up. Nobody's going to do this. We're going to do it my way because we're going to do it my way. And this is what we're going to do. And so he already said from now on, he's doing Olympic style testing. And then also, like I said, I was listening and I agree with this. If they fight again, it's going to be at 147 because Ryan's already said I can't make 140. Devin Haney says he's going to fight at whatever weight he wants to fight at now or whatever. He's not worried about the belt. So that's pretty much letting you know it's going to probably be at 147, a bigger weight. Both of them are big guys. They can go up to that weight. And you're going to make a shit ton of money because if you look at it's sports all over, even in football. Football is also a sport you can die in. People get paralyzed. You have men, and when they take steroids, a 250-pound man running a 4.4 dead at you, hitting you collision because he's juiced up. That's not right either. That can kill you too. So, but teams will still pay that guy if he's good. You'll get your little suspension.
You always got to bring up football. Delete football out of this.
I brought track. I brought up football. I'll bring up MMA. John Jones. John Jones has been a headache. John Jones has been a major. Me and you talked about it. I brought it up to you. John Jones, big headache. You know what I'm saying? Legal trouble, cocaine. Got popped for some kind of performance enhancement, even though they said it was off a dick pill. All that. He brings in the money. He does with. And Conor McGregor, he may not pop dirty or may not pop dirty or maybe easy to work with as far as money and business wise, but the guy had sexual assault accused of. You know what I mean? Guy throws the thing at a bus that could have injured people, broke a glass. The guy was looking like a freaking maniac for a minute, but he brings in them dollars, bro.
Man.
He was wilding at that point. Antonio Brown, the Steelers, Antonio Brown was on a run of the best receiver in the league. Steelers said, we can't deal with this guy. We got to let him go. What does Raiders do? Dummies go say, we got to have Antonio Brown. He didn't even play one snap before they got rid of the guy. Then he goes to the Patriots. He talks about the owner and the massage parlor gets cut. He plays like one game there gets cut. Then the Buccaneers pick him up. Then they get rid of him because people are going to still pay you even though you're a headache. Terrell Owens, one of my favorite football players. Teams cut him left at the left. They kept paying him because he can play.
Yeah. Isaac McCary says, I understand him being upset after losing a fight in which his opponent missed weight by that much because when I lost to De La Paz, all I could think about was a huge weight miss right after. I tell my guys when they're cutting weight, they better push through that shit. You agreed to the weight, then you need to be disciplined and professional and show up as such. I prefer you and your guys for doing that, Isaac. I think it's disrespectful to yourself and to your craft to miss weight. Like, I would be highly upset with myself if I missed weight like that. And let's get a league where everyone is on steroid. You see, I don't think you could do that, though, because everybody would
kill somebody.
Like different, yeah, and everybody would have different weird shit, and people would be dying left and right and having heart attacks. And I'm not really. They're not
going to want to put that on TV. People getting killed in the ring. It has to be like even UFC, even UFC, even UFC said that they had to change some rules. They had to put weight limits just so it could be seen on TV because they didn't. People, one of the biggest things Dana White said that they were scared about on TV is somebody dying in their ring. Yeah. They don't want that on TV. So that's bad for the sport. That's people not going to want to participate in it if it's a bunch of people dying. But with Isaac saying when he lost to De La Paz had 5 pounds over. Now this is different with Isaac now, right? Because this is the amateurs. Guys are trying to fight. You're not making the money that these guys are making. Like I hold Devin different because you went for the money. You went for the 1.5 and you accepted this. Isaac, I mean, it's the amateurs. It's different. So I get him being upset. He's not getting paid. And this guy, he got to fight a guy that's 5 pounds over. He's not getting paid, bro.
But Isaac also spent money in training and drove all the way out from Las Vegas for that fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
but I can understand Isaac being pissed off because it's different. Now, Devin Haney, he's rich. And he got paid $1.5 million for it and everything. Right. Isaac didn't get paid anything. Isaac wasted all his time doing all this stuff. So he's not getting any so I can understand in the amateurs when you're not getting that money like that to be like, hell nah. You know what I mean? That's effed up. But I mean, like I said, but for professionals and you take the money, you took the money.
Right. Well, I will say after that conversation, I do feel like I'm a little bit more open-minded as to why people are upset with Devin Haney, and you kind of definitely made it clearer to me at the beginning why people dislike him, because sometimes the answer is right under your nose and you don't really see it, but you did make a couple great points about his style and how much people like the other guys, right, in the division, and that kind of takes away from your own star power. So, I do think it was a fruitful discussion. Guys, let us know what you think in the comment section below. Drop a super chat, show some love, but more than anything, join the channel and subscribe. But what I want to talk about next, Gary, Gervonta Tank Davis versus Frank the Ghost Martin. Tank ends the fight at 1 minute and 29 seconds into the 8th round and becomes 30-0 with 28 knockouts, I believe it is. Yes, 30-0 with 28 knockouts. Gary, what an unbelievable performance by Tank Davis, man. The more I look at this guy, the more I think he's that guy, man. I really want him I really want to see him in a marquee fight next, Gary. I think it's that time, and I want to see him against a Teofimo. I want to see him against a Shakur. I want to see him against a Lomachenko. And my understanding is they're talking to Lomachenko right now. I think I saw that today on social media that he's talking to Lomachenko. Now, it's unfortunate because as much as I still think Lomachenko's a good fighter, this is not the Lomachenko from 3, 4, 5 years ago anymore.
Yeah.
But I do think it's very important for him to fight a guy in his prime or with a big name at this point because, these B-level, B-plus level guys, it's not going to do it for him. You know what I mean?
I mean, I thought about this. First, I'm going to talk about the Frank fight. Frank and Tank. All right. So
Frank and Tank.
Yeah, I thought his name Frank Martin. That was my granddaddy name. Yeah, but my brother joked.
I forgot his last name is Martin, like you.
Yeah, my brother joked and be like, Tank knocked out our granddad. But no, I mean, I thought Frank did a decent job. I did think he was a little just too respectful of Tank's power.
Mhm.
And so
You gotta be. You
but
gotta be.
no, you gotta. It's like I heard Mayweather was talking about. When I was younger, I was moving around the ring from guys, and you get tired and stuff. It wasn't no recent interview; it was an older interview. But he was talking about guys moving around the ring and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And then
Yeah.
they couldn't catch me, but I was outboxing the guy, but he couldn't catch me. And this that, and he was like, as he got older, he learned how to box where I can come forward and still take away your power. I can
Yeah.
come forward, come into you, and take away that power hand, make you miss without all the extra movement and all the extra, things. I can still. I remember I sparred a guy in the gym, bigger guy, heavyweight, and he was bigger than me, a lot bigger than me. And I'm trying to move the kind because this guy's big and he's coming at me because he knows he's bigger than me. He's like 6'3", he's like 6'3" or something like that, 6'4" maybe. And he probably outweighed me by like 20, 30 pounds. And so he was going. I didn't mind. I got in the ring with him and he was moving me around. and I was but I got tired, man. And my cousin was a professional boxer, was like, man, you don't try to run from the power because eventually you're gonna get tired. And then when you get tired, he's just gonna pound on you because you're tired. Because you can't, especially if that's not what you do. If you haven't done that, staying on your bike. If you're somebody who's used to that and always done that through your fighting career, you can probably do that. Like Paul Williams, who threw 100 punches around. Yeah. That's what he trained for. That's what he did. But if you're not ready for that, you're not going to be able to do that. And you got to learn how to. Even Frank said later on, I should have kept him off of me a little bit with punches instead of always moving. And then I think Shakur Stevenson said he was backing straight up in the corner, and even his corner was telling him, look, man, when you're going to the corner, know what you're going to do. Know how to get out of there. And he wasn't. He was laying in the corner. And when you do that, there's only so many shots you can blank. You can block with a guy like Tank. And so I think this experience kicked in. He wasn't on that level. It showed he wasn't on that level. Now, as far as Tank, I think people been disrespecting Tank's resume. And I'm one of people. Because if we really go look at it,
it's a good one. It's a good one.
He beat Isaiah Cruz, who's now a champion at 140. Knocked out Rolly. Rolly was a champion. Knocked him out. He was a champion. He was a champion at 135 and 140. Huh?
Yeah, but
I'm not saying he's the greatest. He was the greatest technical fighter, but I'm saying he was the champion. You beat him. He was knocking out everybody. You beat him. You beat Pitbull Cruz, who knocked out Rolly, who only lost is to you. He's a champion now. You beat Ryan. Ryan wasn't a champion, but
let's go through it because I think it'll be better if we go through it.
Okay.
Properly because he does have some good.
Mario Barrios, the champion.
Right. I was just gonna say. So the last fight, Frank Martin. Before that, Ryan Garcia. Right. There was Hector Garcia, he's okay. Rolly Romero, Isaac Cruz, Mario Barrios, and before that, Leo Santa Cruz. And Gamboa. Now Gamboa was
I don't count that one.
Yeah, Gamboa was kind of past it, but it's still a name. So
he's just a stepping stone.
Right. So that's not a horrible. That's a pretty good list of names. In the division.
That's how many champions, though. How many champions is that? Mario Barrios a champion. Leo Santa Cruz is a champion. Rolly was a champion.
And Mario Barrios moved up and beat Ugas, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
Beat Ugas' ass, bro.
This is what I'm saying. You got to start putting some respect on his resume. His resume ain't a piece of shit now.
No, it's not.
It's not. So he's fought to me better competition, in my opinion, than Tio did. Only person that Tio fought was Loma that I'll give over everybody else that Tank fought. Loma.
Well, Tio fought Josh Taylor. But Taylor was.
But Josh Taylor is Josh Taylor? Would you say Josh Taylor is in his prime?
No, he not anymore. But when Josh Taylor was in his prime, he was really good.
When he was.
Yeah. He fought Kambosos, but he lost that fight.
Exactly.
He beat Loma, but it was close.
That's what I said. And that was a close fight. That was a close fight between him and Loma. So this is what I'm saying. If you go Ryan Garcia, he fought better people than Ryan Garcia, better people than Loma. I mean, not Loma. I'm sorry. Better people than. He fought better people than Ryan Garcia. He fought better people than Devin Haney. He fought better people than Tio. So out of the four that was
supposed to fought, I don't know if he fought better people than Tio. I mean, because Tio fought, I would say it's comparable, right? Because he fought Diego Magdaleno, Richard Comey, Vasil Lomachenko, George.
Is Richard Comey? Do you think Richard Comey is still at his peak of his powers?
Not anymore, but when he fought him, he was still pretty good. Sandor Martin, who Haney is supposed to fight next.
Yeah, he dropped to you, and he dropped to you.
Yeah. No, Sandor's good. Listen, Tio's fought some tough fights. He's fought some tough fights. But I would agree, Tank's resume is like right there. But
if he goes and beat Loma, that's gonna send it way over the top. Even though Loma is not Loma, but he's still
good,
a very good fighter. Yeah. He's not at a peak, but he still is a very good fighter. Dangerous, he can beat anybody. Yeah, you see, he destroyed Kambosos.
Yeah, but he's lost a couple steps for sure.
Yeah, he lost a little bit, but I feel like Tank has gotten better through all these battles. Yeah. So Tank probably wasn't as good. He probably still could have beat Loma, but I don't know. I feel like he's gotten better over these other fights, and I always thought he was that dude. So only person I think that could beat him is Shakur, but that's my opinion.
I'm not sure. Loma in his prime, when he was priming, I think that's a tough fight for anybody. You know what I mean?
I do, but Loma at his prime against this Tank, not Tank back then.
That would be a great fight. That would be a great
I think
fight.
Tank catches them and catches up to him and drops him, sits him.
I don't know about that.
Because I mean,
that's a tough one. That's a tough one to say. That's a tough one.
I just think Tank catches them. Only person I like. I'm still with Shakur.
The thing is with Tank, he gets outboxed in stretches, and sometimes I feel like
he lets you.
Yeah, and sometimes I feel like though he's kind of like a Wilder, right? He might get behind too far, and then his power sometimes it's bailed him out every time. But is that always going to happen? Because remember, Wilder's not the boxer. Tank but it's kind of the same thing where he'll wait, and sometimes
he doesn't give. I don't feel like he gives away as many rounds as Wilder did.
But he gives away rounds. He gives
away rounds.
And if he loses, it's going to be because of that. It's going to be because of that.
Yeah, what I'm going to say is Wilder used to, when he fought Ortiz both times, he was losing every round and then gets the knockout. Right. With Fury, how we just stated earlier, 10 rounds he lost. I only seen the two he knocked him down that he won, and it saved him. And that and it was, I'm trying to think, it was another fight against a lesser known opponent. He was losing. Tank gives away, like with Frank Martin, he gave away, in my opinion, the first 4.
Yeah.
Then he turned it on.
That's not good, Gary. Gary, that's not good, Gary.
But I'm just saying, I seen Mayweather do it with Zab Judy. The first 3 rounds, Zab won.
I don't think Mayweather.
And then Floyd started picking them apart.
Yeah, I think what happened with Judah, because Floyd wasn't one to give away rounds, bro.
Sometimes he did. I always said if you're gonna get Floyd, it has to be at the beginning of the fight.
I think Zab Judah was just very fast in the first few rounds, but Floyd knew he was gonna tire, and Floyd just kept up his pace. Yeah. Eventually caught up to him, but I don't think he gave those rounds away. You got to.
No. See, I think Tank gives them away. I don't think Mayweather gives it away, but I think sometimes in Mayweather's fight, because he's such a cerebral fighter, it takes him, like even Shakur says, I need about like 3 rounds. And after 3 rounds, I figure the guy out. I know what he likes, how he moves. I know his speed. I know everything. Like, it's just like when Mayweather got caught by Sugar Shane. Those in the first couple of rounds, he had to adjust a little bit, after that, he just took off and it was no more. Same thing Tank was doing to Frank. Some people only think Frank won the first 3. I think he won the first 4. Then you seen 5, he dominated. 6, he dominated. 7, he dominated. It was all a strategical plan, because even in the corner, he goes, all right, now let's pick it up now. Let's start putting those punches together.
Isaac's in here. He says Gervonta was losing 6 out of 8 rounds, he thought. I mean,
I don't know about that one. No, I don't know about that one.
I just think he needs to be I mean, I don't know. I think he needs to not give away so many. I think he's gonna lose at some point if he does that. You know what I mean?
I
Because
think
look what happened with Isaac Cruz, right? I thought he lost that fight. I know you disagree, but in that fight, he hurt his hand. So what happens if you give away a bunch of rounds and then you get hurt? You know, you're in trouble, dude. You're gonna lose that fight. You know what I mean?
well, see,
Or you get clipped. Or you get clipped. You know, it's tough.
what's I get you, and I get you, but I don't think that. I think Tank does that to certain fighters. If you ask me, I don't think he does that to Shakur. I don't think he intentionally. He may lose those rounds or lose some rounds, but I don't think he intentionally does that to a fighter of the level of Shakur.
Yeah.
I don't think he does that, and I think it depends on who's he's fighting because Ryan Garcia, he dropped him in what? He dropped Ryan Garcia early, like what, the second, third round he dropped him, and then he dropped him again late in like the fifth or something and stopped him. Yeah. So that didn't even take that long for him with Ryan Garcia. Yeah. Now Rolly, I think because of Rolly, he acknowledged Rolly's power and how strong Rolly was. It was sort of something he had to kind of get used to because Rolly's a big guy, big, strong guy, and he hits hard. Tank even said he hits the hardest out of anybody I got hit by. Yeah. So, but I think, certain things, I mean, like I said, I don't think he even some people think he was losing against Mario Barrios, but I don't think he was down like by a whole bunch of rounds like Deontay Wilder would. No, he might have been down a round or two.
He was also probably losing to
Santa Cruz. Yeah, but this what I'm saying, but how many rounds? It wasn't where I had to hit the panic button now and go. Deontay Wilder had fights where he had to hit the panic button.
But that's not, I just don't think that's a good position to be in. That's just my opinion. But anyway, Gary, we've been at this over an hour and 15 minutes, man. Knuckleheads, I appreciate you guys joining us. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, and most importantly, join the channel to continue to help us build. Fighters Rep tickets go on sale July 3rd. It's going to be September 7th at the beautiful Commerce Casino in Los Angeles, and September 21st at the beautiful Arion Event Center in Pompano Beach, Florida. I'm hoping Isaac McCary accepts the fight that we've offered him. That would be fantastic. And that's going to be a great card, guys. Don't miss it. We'll see you every Monday on the Fighters Rep podcast. And Gary, we got to drop more content. So, guys, look out for that. Gary, appreciate your time, brother. I'm going to let you go.
All right, I'm going to let you, bro.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah.